It happened on a Monday night. A quiet sidewalk. A city pulsing with the rhythm of evening routines. And me, 44 years old, a woman just trying to do right by a creature in need, gripping a leash, heart racing. Because across the street, a man had just let go of his dog. And not just any dog. A tiny, unleashed Shih Tzu, suddenly sprinting full speed across the street, straight at mine. I barely had time to react. The moment I saw that blur of fur dashing toward us, I tightened my grip on the collar. My dog, a foster I'd taken in only the night before, braced herself. She's a beautiful, powerful soul. 75 pounds of muscle and survival instinct. Sweet with people, but no nonsense when it comes to cats. And, well, other dogs? That's a slow intro situation, a read the room kind of thing. This little dog didn't read the room, and its owner didn't seem to care. I shouted, "Get your dog away from mine." Nothing. The man, maybe late 30s, early 40s, just stood there across the street, casually, not hurrying, not calling his dog, just walking. Like this wasn't an emergency. Like his dog wasn't weaving through oncoming traffic. Like I wasn't standing there with a reactive 75-pound foster, straining against the leash, heart pounding in my chest. The little Shih Tzu zigzagged, now blocking a car, now doubling back toward us. Meanwhile, some older woman with him just stood and laughed. And all I could think was, this is how it happens. This is how people end up screaming. Dogs end up bleeding. Cars screech to a halt, and everyone pretends it was just bad luck. My dog began to snarl. Not snap, not lunge, but that low, guttural warning sound. The kind that says, "I don't want this, but I will protect myself." I yelled again, louder this time, "Get your dog away from her!" The man finally sauntered over and scooped up his dog, and then he looked at me and said the words I'll never forget. "You're the one with the big dog. Go fuck yourself." That's when everything flipped, because it wasn't just about his dog anymore. It was about decency, about responsibility, about the utter gall of someone who nearly let their dog die in traffic and blamed me for stopping it from happening. I fired back. "Exactly. Do you not care if my dog attacks your dog?" He squinted at me. "Is that a threat? Are you threatening me?" "No," I snapped. "I'm warning you. Your dog could have been hit by a car." And again, no apology, no concern, just venom. "Fee off," he barked. That was it. "You're a shitty dog owner," I said. Not because I wanted to escalate things, but because in that moment, I needed him to know that his carelessness wasn't invisible, that someone saw it, that it mattered. He turned away. I turned too. Foster and I walked on, past the commotion, past the adrenaline, past the moment that could have turned into tragedy. And yet, later, I started to second guess. It wasn't until the next day, when I told a friend about it, that I felt the sting. He listened, thoughtfully, and then he said, "You shouldn't have insulted the guy. You should have just kept walking." Kept walking? Like it wasn't my job to protect the dog in my care? Like my only option was silence? Like it wasn't already my dog that would have been blamed if anything had gone wrong? I was stunned. Not because I expected everyone to agree with me, but because I hadn't expected him, someone who knew how seriously I took this responsibility, to say that. If I hadn't engaged, would the little dog still be darting back and forth? Would my foster have lunged? Would someone's beloved pet be lying on the pavement? I wasn't angry at my friend, but I was baffled, disheartened, and a little scared by the idea that standing up for what's right, firmly, vocally, could be twisted into something wrong. Still, the scene kept playing in my head, his dog rushing toward mine, his slow, careless walk, the woman's laughter, the cars, the snarl, the weight of 75 pounds on a leash, and the heavier weight of knowing what could have happened if I'd done nothing. This isn't just a story about dogs. This is a story about responsibility, about boundaries, about being the only adult in the room when others treat public space like their personal playground. I didn't raise my voice because I was angry. I raised it because I was scared. Because when someone treats your warning like a joke, sometimes yelling is the only language they seem to hear. And here's the hard part. I don't hate that man. I pity him. Because one day, he's going to meet a dog that isn't on a leash. One that isn't controlled. One that doesn't just snarl. It bites. And it won't be because that dog is mean or bad. It'll be because someone like him, too lazy or too entitled to follow the rules, walked right into a storm they refused to see coming. And that tiny Shih Tzu, that dog deserves better. So yeah, I yelled. Because sometimes yelling isn't about rage. It's about drawing a line in the sand. A last line. A loud one. One that says, not today, not on my watch. So, am I the asshole? You tell me. Was it the leash? The snarl? The swear? Or was it the quiet decision I made to protect a dog who had no one else? You decide. But as for me, I'd rather be called rude than stand quietly while someone's pet runs into traffic. And maybe that says something. Maybe that says enough. You've been listening to AITA Stories. And here's the thing. This wasn't just about a leash, or a sidewalk, or a bad owner. This was about courage. The courage to stand your ground in a world that too often tells women to smile, to stay calm, to walk away. Even when the threat is real. Even when someone else's life, human or not, depends on you saying something, doing something. Yes, kindness matters, but so does protection. So does presence. So does stepping up when others laugh and look away. If you've ever had to raise your voice to be heard, if you've ever been called dramatic for preventing a disaster, if you've ever felt that sick knot in your stomach when someone tells you you're the problem for reacting to their negligence, then you know you are not alone. And maybe today, someone needed to hear this. So now we ask you, what would you have done? Drop a comment below. Let's talk about it. This is AITA Stories, where real life gets loud.